I was the most stuck. Being in that job, it was not knowing what to do. It was following the crowd like everyone else because you don't have guidance, and that's what makes you feel more lonely than ever. You go out to nights out, you go out with people, you go clubbing, you think you're socialising, and people just mindlessly go on with these things without any result. Everyone's saying they feel down, they feel lost, they feel confused, they need guidance, they don't know what to do. I say the same thing to everyone is you cannot be depressed, you cannot feel down, you cannot be bored if you are building something, if you are building towards something. How can I wake up and feel depressed or bored when I have a mind to master, a body to build, and a brand to grow? If you want to get yourself out of the position where you are right now, if you are feeling lost, if you are feeling stuck, if you are able to find your purpose, everything becomes easy because you know everything you need to do. That's when you get the clarity on the problems and the mistakes and the failures because they don't feel like
significant.
They don't feel significant. All my goals are inevitable. I've achieved them all. Time's just catching up. I've achieved everything I've already set myself out to, and I feel that. And when I get to the next goal, I will set new goals. Whether I make 20k a month or 50k a month, it does not matter to me. The amount of people I help, the amount of people I help leverage their life to become better, that is what is important to me. That is what I want to do with my life. That is the purpose. That's why I wake up. It's building that legacy.
That's powerful.
Welcome to the Willionaire podcast. I'm Will, founder of Willionaire. If you're running a 6 or 7 figure business, looking to grow faster, connect deeper, and live bigger, then you're in the right place. Inside the Willionaire community, we host sick trips, powerful masterminds, and have real conversations that all move the needle forward. And this podcast, it's simply just a reflection of that energy. In this podcast, you're going to hear from Willionaire members and other top business minds from around the globe. These people have built amazing companies, but even better lives. We're here to show you what's working, challenge the norm, and see everyone rise. So whether you're tuning in from a beach, a boardroom, or you're on a flight to your next mastermind, get ready. This is the Willionaire podcast.
Boys, welcome back to the Willionaire Poddy. Today I am with the legend himself, Alex Shaw, Head of Sales Development, and also crushing content big time right now. Today, we're probably going to cover the topics of mindset, the fear of change, travel, and pursuing content. So let's get into it. Big man Alex, give yourself a little intro.
How are we doing? My name's Alex Benshaw on IG. I'm head of sales development for an Irish company, and I'm also, as Will says, pushing content at the moment. We're hitting 50k followers within a year's time. Other than that, that's about all I've got to say because I am flying this year. That is where I'm going. I'm going
Say
to
less.
Yeah.
So we first connected back when you were in Mexico, wasn't it?
Yes, Playa del Carmen, bro. Within I think I was there for 2-3 weeks. Yeah, that was a rough time. That first month was a little.
Why?
Well, that was the first period of leaving home and going all in on this stuff. Because I was working at home for 2 months on the online space. I didn't make much money, but when the first month I made money, I was like, fuck. Can you swear on it?
Yeah, you can swear on it.
We can swear. Okay, I was like, fuck. This is rough. And I got out to Mexico and I was like, yes, this is it. We're going all in. And then I didn't realize, I didn't check. It was hurricane season for 3-4 weeks. Wi-Fi was out, couldn't get on calls. Split up with my partner, left my friends, family, and I was like, fuck, we're in this now. We gotta make this work, otherwise we are in the trenches. And those first couple of weeks in Mexico were rough, but then I met some guys who spoke English. There's not many English speakers out there, but then being around people doing the same thing, luckily we're both in sales as well, being around those people, you then okay, well these guys are making money, I can make money. And then you meet other people who are making more money, you're like, fuck, these guys are. Remember I met the first person, he was doing 50k a month, and I was like, brother's making 50 grand 1 month. And that was when I kind of sat down. I was like, fuck, all this shit that I'm holding on to baggage wise. I'm like, oh, I've left this, I've left that. Have I made the right decision? I was like, nah, this shit fucking works. How do we get to here? How do we make this work?
That was similar to me when I first went to Costa Murray. I describe it like I got slapped in the face with what's possible.
Yeah.
It's, when you walk into a really hot sauna and you get hit with the heat.
The heat just hits you whoa.
Or you step outside in the cold, on a really, really cold winter's day, and you just get hit with the cold. I feel like that's what happens to a lot of guys when they move out of their hometown, leave all the comfort behind. They get hit in the face with the sensation of limitless. They realize what's possible, and it hits you like the wind.
Yeah, because you can't really fathom it. You see all these people doing these things, but when you're actually in it yourself and you see everyone being so successful, making all this money around you. Because I think a lot of people think, obviously they see it online, they see people making money. It's like, oh, it's just a scam. It's too good to be true. It's not what they say. And you actually get around the people. You get in those environments and you're like, fuck, this is real. And you kind of have to like take a step back, settle yourself in about, right, okay, we're fucking strapping in now. Like, how do we do this shit?
And then with time, it becomes normality.
Yeah.
It's just like when you move to a new location, first and foremost, you think, oh, wow, this is incredible. This is insane. But after a while, you get normal. It's like becomes normal. It's like when I was in Bali, Sam Tyndall, one of the lads in Willionaire, came out. And I'd already been living on like islands and beaches, probably for about like 8 months by that point. And he was like, this is insane when we're in the sea. And I was like, yeah, it actually is. Like, this is just so normal to me now. And it's the same when you're surrounded by people making like a lot of money, doing well for themselves. At first, you feel like the black sheep, like say in your hometown. But then when you move out and you get surrounded by those people, it just becomes the normal. And if someone's not doing that, then they are the black sheep.
I remember being in my corporate job. It was like 7 months in, and I just made my first $5,000 month. Obviously, a lot of that got taxed, or whatever. But I remember making on a pay slip, I was like 5,000. I was like, wow, this is good money. And my friend who was in Mexico at the time, like, just told me he made 10 grand in a month, and I was like, hold on, you made 10,000 in a month, and you're living in Mexico. And I've seen his lifestyle, and I'm like, I'm just selling cars work. I'm in an office 60 hours a week. And again, I think seeing him actually live that lifestyle, make money, and know it's not fake because it's my friend doing it, I then put all my time into doing it and making it work. You get out, you get to those realization where, yeah, now like when guys come out, like Naz, for example, speaking to Naz about it the other day, and he's just recently come out of being that black sheep, being around the wrong people, and he's out and he's like, whoa, this is fucking incredible. Like, all the boys are here, like, everyone's making money, like we're enjoying ourselves. But you don't really think it's possible till you're here. And then when you are here, the heights keep getting heightened and heightened. You, for example, like you sort of, when you're back here, you wanted to make your first 2K a month. You wanted to make first 2 grand and need to make 2 grand. You make 2 grand, you're like, I made 2 grand. Well, now I need to make 5. And then you make 5 and you're like, I need to make 10. And it keeps going up and up and up and up. Whereas a year ago, I think we were having this conversation the other night when we were at yours. If you just yourself a year ago, like, oh, you just make 3 grand a month, you live in Thailand, bro, you've made the dream. That is the dream. That's at the time, it's unfathomable. How do I make it work? And now it's like, what's your goals now? You fucking,
I want to hit 100K this month.
Exactly.
Not this month, this year.
It's like a 33x.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
you know what I mean? And that's in the space of a year. Your horizons have expanded literally, like numerically, like 33 times, which is fucking crazy.
It goes back to the Alex Benshaw quote. I quoted this before, and it's actually on a reel on my Instagram. And it's the beautiful thing about hard work is the harder you work, the more you realize that what you once thought was hard work is nowhere near what you're capable of. And that was me in Thailand. Like I didn't think 10K a month was possible when I first moved. Obviously, I thought it was just some sort of fantasy.
It's like a buzzword, isn't it? A lot of people use it as a buzzword. They kind of throw around, oh, to get your first 10K a month, da 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 da. If you want to get your first 10K, and everyone uses that as like a way to like big up the lifestyle and whatever.
Well, I was speaking to Ned about this. For context, Ned's one of the guys in Willionaire, if the guys watching don't know. And he was saying, well, we were saying that we've almost stepped into the dark side a little bit. Because when you're sitting around 2 to 5K a month, you've got location freedom, financial freedom to some extent. But when you push over 10K, over 20K, then it becomes a little bit more materialistic. Not even if you're a materialistic person, you start to become tied to the things that the money brings. For example, right now we're staying in an insane villa, which is probably unnecessary. But to get the better content, to grow our businesses, to be surrounded in an environment that makes us want to work harder, to host events like the barbecue and white party we did, we need those things. And that's what's going to allow me personally to excel. So like you have to dip your toes in a little bit, you know?
Well, I mean, it goes to show, like, I think in that environment as well is what then brings on that extra success. Because, bro, when I'm at my place and I'm recording videos, editing, I find it a lot more difficult to kind of lock in, do my stuff, and get inspired. But bro, I've made 3 videos at your villa in the office.
Yeah.
2 of them have gone viral. I don't know if that's
seriously.
Yeah, so one of them's on 200K and one of them's on 1.1 mil.
Nice.
Which is literally, maybe that's coincidence. I mean, I'm a spiritual person. I look into the fact that it's probably not a coincidence that you're around that thing. You just have a better, it's like a better, I can't even put a word on it, but being around those things, that environment, seeing the view is then what just levels you up and up and up.
That's why I like the Willionaire Villas so much, because yeah, they're huge, but like it's literally an open invitation. Like, think how many boys just like drop in like without.
I didn't even message you the other day. I just pulled up. I was like, I need to do some work. Just dropped in.
I say that to Naz. I said that to Luke. Said that to all the guys. They just turn up if they want to work, and it's sick because we're all just grinding around that table together,
That
like
table
sardines.
yeah, so funny the other day when we were just for context. We were all in the office, which is just the dining room, big dining room tables, like 6 or 7 of us working, and we're all on our shit. We're all doing our stuff, but Ned's trying to film a YouTube video. And look, filming a YouTube video is hard enough with the takes, how many times you want to say things. Ned's trying to do it with around 6 people around him, which kudos to him. He did quite well. But when your boy's in front of you messing up the lines, which is normal, which happens on YouTube videos, but you got 6 guys trying not to laugh, and then some of your mates falling over, like mid fucking recorded. It is so funny watching Ned trying to do it. But yeah, we were all just on our shit. Everyone, what are some of the guys doing? Naz does AI, Ned's doing fitness, you're on the network, Luke does getting people at the 9 to 5. There's just so much different array of people around, all managing their own little things. Adam helps people get into setting or whatever, I think. No, into editing.
Yeah.
It's the editing, isn't it? It's just, it's good, bro. When you're around that table and you're looking around and everyone's doing their own thing, you're like, fuck, fires you up, bro.
It does fire you up, man.
It fires you up. And that's what I'm saying. Again, when you go into the spiritual stuff, that you see everyone around you fucking putting everything into it, and then as a byproduct, somehow your stuff then just grows.
We're talking about being surrounded by the right people here. We're talking about we're big in Willionaire, we're big time here. But you once didn't have that, and neither did I. And a lot of people watching probably don't have that. A lot of people are probably grinding their tits off like we were, maybe in Mexico, maybe in Bali somewhere, maybe back in the UK. Do you think that people are feeling really lonely? Especially entrepreneurs.
I think loneliness is very prominent now. I think with how much the internet grows and grows and grows by the day, how much more reliance there is on the internet and how much more time people spend on social media and the less connected they are being, especially you go to like Western, I know people say like, it's like a buzzword again, but Western countries, UK, US, that you don't have that community to have neighbors and just be very friendly. You walk down the streets in the UK and people have a face and they walk past and they don't notice anything and they're very individual. Whereas you come out to places like this, for example, if you come out to a place like Thailand, like Bali, people are looking for people. They want to find brothers. They want to find
friends.
They want to feel that. The reason why people leave the UK is, again, I think the biggest thing is loneliness. When I was at the UK, there was a period where when I was in my corporate job, I had all my notifications turned off, other than my partner I was seeing at the time and my one friend who's in Mexico doing all this, because like these are the 2 things I just need to focus on. How I can get out of this period, because I just felt that I wasn't able to resonate with my friends at home the same way that I used to. And it then backs you into a little bit of a corner because they're your brothers. They're still my brothers for life. But there's just a lot of things that you couldn't talk to them about, like the online space or making money or wanting to make, 20K months because you see your friends do it. And I think it pushes everyone into a corner. They don't know where to turn. But especially when I was the most stuck, it was being in that job. It was not knowing what to do. It was following the crowd like everyone else because you don't have guidance. And that's what makes you feel more lonely than ever. You go out to nights out, you go out with people, you go clubbing, you think you're socializing, but you feel more lonely than ever.
Yeah.
Even though you're surrounded by people, if it's not the right people, it actually makes you more lonely. Because you'll be in a club. I've had some fucking 4 a.m. 5 and that's like, what am I doing in my life?
There's actually a Zach Bryan song. It's like in the clubs at night, that's when I feel the most alone. Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, fuck.
Bro, it's true.
I remember being in the UK.
There's been times where it'll be going to the pub on the weekend, the same pub, with like all your friends, and it gets to 4 a.m. and you're just there because you know you've got nothing else on and everyone else around you's doing it. You don't want to be lonely, so you go to these places. so you don't miss out. So you do have that connection, but you do not find it there. It's empty, and that's what makes you feel so alone.
It's short-term gratification because at the time you think it's filling that need of being around people, but it's actually deterring you. It's pushing you away further and further away from your goals.
And I think that's the key thing there is people go to the club, they go to the pub, they do all these things to try and get that connection, to try and be sociable, to have that sort of camaraderie. But in essence, it does just push them further away because it's not what they want, but they don't know where to look for it. So they think that's the answer. Or they don't know if that's the answer, but they're trying it and they persist on with it because I need to find it, I need to feel these things. And people just mindlessly go on with these things without any result. And that's what leads them to feel and then just one day just be like, fuck, have some sort of a breakdown and realize how actually lonely they are. But it's so normal. Like, it is incredibly normal. I know so many people. I was having a conversation with my friend, the same friend who was in Mexico, who's now back in the UK, and he's been there for too long. He wants to get out because he's getting that same sense again. But he's a very, very successful person, someone I look up to very highly, someone who helped me get into this position I'm in now. But he's in the UK. He's had the lifestyle. He's got the money, but he's still there. You think, oh, he's got a good life, but he doesn't have the people. And that's the biggest problem, is people don't have people now.
People don't have people.
People don't have people now. But if you look at the money, the lifestyle, all of it's meaningless without people.
It is.
Without connections, without brothers.
Like, what's that villa without 5 guys living in it together?
Bro, you couldn't live in that villa alone.
Yeah, it's like a big house. It'd be creepy. You know what I mean? It feels like there'll be no love in it. You know what I mean?
And that's one thing that I, again, felt in Mexico. I was like, okay, I'm making a step forward. Like, I'm moving up. I'm starting this journey. But I lived in a place on my own for 3 months, and I went from the most comfortable I'd ever been with my partner, making 5-6 grand a month. I didn't pay rent at the time either. I was living free at my parents' house. Like, everything was good. I was going on for holidays with friends. And then I got to this period in Mexico for 3 months where I didn't make money the first month. I wasn't around many English speakers. I got very, very lonely, and I was very uncomfortable, and I was dealing with the breakup. And brother, that lonely period, I remember there was one day in there I was letting all these things get on top of my back and just feeling sorry for myself, feeling lonely, and just wallowing away. And then it's like, one little turning point. I got a tattoo of the day on it where it's got quite a low point. I was like, from this day onwards, I'm going to find every single person I need to. I'm going to do every single thing I need to, and everything is going to work in my favor. But a lot of people don't have that self-reflection. They kind of just carry on and like, this is my life. They feel sorry. And it's tough. You can get kind of sucked into a negative feedback loop and not get out of it. And it's when it's in those loneliest periods that if you do find that soul level reflection, then it opens up so many fucking doors. If you actually like, okay, this is bad, this is lonely. How do I go and how do I tackle this?
I think a lot of guys are scared of the change.
Yeah. And
Big time.
Again, it's a conversation I had yesterday with my friend around, he described the change as like, he knew it was coming. It's inevitable. But he described it as a cloud. And like, I think when you think of a cloud, it's like negative connotations, rain cloud, dark, grey, and it's coming towards him. He knows it's coming. It's going to be uncomfortable. How does he deal with it? He's not that he was fearful of it, but he knows there's a big thing coming. He's a bit unsettled by it. But I was on this conversation with him, and I'm sure you agree, that there's not many times that big level of change doesn't result in something very amazing. Like, for example, to apply it to my situation, where that big cloud came, I was in Mexico, and I'm like, fuck, this is huge, it's massive. At the end of it, bro, I then started making money. I then got around my people. I then introduced myself to, we met. I'm now in Thailand. I know, like, all these things have happened as a domino effect from that, and it's all from that level of change of me jumping out of my comfort zone, going into Mexico, going through that shit period, and then everything coming good now, and only getting better. Anytime this cloud specifically, don't think of it as the grey, rainy cloud. Think of it as a soft, white, fluffy cloud, because it's going to be uncomfortable. There's a big thing coming. It's going to change you.
A bit of turbulence.
Lots of turbulence.
Yeah.
But it's always going to benefit you in the long run. And I think as well, the reason why it's so maybe negative connotations, people are afraid of making the wrong decision or doing the wrong thing. But I also believe that there's no decision you make that's a wrong decision, because every decision leads you to exactly where you're meant to be. Whether it's right or wrong, you get a lesson from it to then push you on and on and on.
Say no man's an island. every action you take will influence other people in some way, shape, or form, and it's also going to influence your next move. It's like it literally is a domino effect.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
people before changes, everyone has fear, and it comes down to fear of change. Sorry, fear of judgment, fear of failure, or fear of success. And for the guys like in the UK still working a 9-to-5 job, it's obviously going to be fear of failure and fear of judgment. Because I know that's what it was for me. I was scared. Well, when I moved to Thailand, I knew I was going to get judged. I knew there was a potential I could fail. I could run out of money and have to go home. But for the entrepreneurs, it's always fear of success. It's when they're ready to take that next move. Say like they're making like 5 to 10K a month through sales and they're looking to start their own thing. A bit like you with your content and your culture. It's like, you're not scared of being judged because you're posting fucking content. You're not scared of failing because you've already took like 3 massive ballsy jumps. But it's the success. You're afraid of either the person that you're going to become and the responsibilities he has, or you're afraid that you're not going to be that person who can almost hold that baggage, like this guy holding the world. You know, like,
And it's and it's two very different. But the thing always comes down to the fear or that internal thing. But
it's self-image.
yeah,
You need your self-image to be
for anyone
insane.
out there who is resonating with this and you haven't read Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, buy that book right now because that will change your life. That is the best book I've ever read into it where I was like, holy fucking shit. So many things that you would do on a day-to-day basis, so many things like negative self-talk, these internal beliefs you have in yourself. You read that book and you're like, fuck. You have so much more control over your brain than you think. And you can literally, this sounds fancy, but you can literally control your own brain chemistry. You can filter what thoughts come in and how you then feel throughout the day based on what you let affect you. Because if you know the thoughts you're funneling in are bad and negative, and you can actually identify that, then they just filter back out because you're like, oh, this is another bad one.
It's like what Carl Jung says.
Mm.
See, until you rule your unconscious mind, it will control you and you will call it fate.
And that's why I think a lot of people do get stuck. It's because they do just go through the motions day by day. They don't really take control of it. They just think this is life, but they're just going through autopilot because the subconscious mind is just
You need
living it
resilience,
for them.
resilience, resistance to autopilot. You know, I've got day to day in my life. It's like our minds is like a river. A river travels downstream. It's controlled by gravity. And the river takes the easiest route. If it hits some rocks, it'll go around it and form a meander, the curve in the river. And it'll keep going down. When it hits some more, like hard rock, maybe more hard soil, it'll go around again and create another meander. Like, our brains go for the easiest route. And we need to make that change. If we hit the rock, then we need to go through it.
The concept from the book that I love, that's probably one of the biggest ones that stuck for me in Psycho-Cybernetics, is think of it as like a torpedo missile, like a heat-seeking missile, right? If it goes off course, it then course corrects back on to find where the heat is. But it has the negative feedback. It's necessary to know whether it's going off course. But then it brings it closer back to its target by knowing it's gone off course. And instead of getting yourself down about the fails you make, you should take them as lessons because they're always just going to bring you back to the target closer. Because imagine if you didn't have the heat-seeking system and you make a failure, you could just go off and you just miss the target.
And blow someone up.
Exactly. You blow yourself up. It'll just
Yeah.
turn around and fucking blow you up.
This is a question for you. On the topic of self-image, when you look at yourself in the mirror, like, what do you see?
A stud. But that's what you gotta get to. It's what you gotta get to. Like there was periods where I didn't believe. There was like again in Mexico, I was very much out of shape. I think I got to Mexico 90 kg. Like I wasn't looking in the mirror. I wasn't happy with myself. But I look in the mirror now and I think I am the fucking man. And then again, I don't think that's coming out of a big-headed thing. But you have to have that level of fucking confidence. You have to believe in yourself that much. Otherwise, things won't happen for you. You won't. If you don't believe in yourself, then no one else will.
The man doesn't get in insane shape. The man doesn't take risks. The man doesn't make 50K a month. To do those things, you've got to be the man. You know?
And I think if you don't have that, I think you either view it 2 ways. You either view it as cringe, fuck off, or you view it as necessary. Because if you don't look at yourself in the mirror and think, I'm a fucking stud, I'm the fucking man, then you aren't gonna live that prosperous life, you aren't going to make something of yourself, you should want to wake up and feel fucking juice in your bollocks, like conviction in your throat, like
You feel it through your veins.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
coursing through your veins, bro.
You need to look at yourself and know that you're capable.
Yeah.
You're the man that's capable of doing X, Y, and Z. You're the man capable of making the money. You're the man capable of getting in insane shape. You're the man capable of getting a beautiful, caring wife. You're the man who's capable of looking after your entire family. Like, if you don't see that in the mirror when you look at yourself, then you need to work on it. Because there was a time when I seen that. I seen myself as a guy who's doing kickboxing, kind of good, kind of not.
Mm.
You know, I see myself stuck in a job. I see myself sad that I was stuck, sad that I wasn't pro. I see myself not happy with my physique. And I was thinking, I'm sacrificing my physique to be light for kickboxing, which I know I'm not going to be a high-level pro. And then I looked at my bank and I was like, I'm kind of broke because I'm in a job, which I don't like. And I just had this bad self-image. And now when I look at myself in the mirror through like the past like year and a half, 2 years of deep work, like, I see a man who's capable. I see a man who's going to retire my whole family. I see a man who's going to have a £3 million house in Northumberland countryside. I see a man who's a leader, collaborating all these other main characters together, facilitating trips, facilitating an environment where other entrepreneurs thrive. And if you don't have that, if you don't see yourself as the person that you want to become, then you're already cooked.
I couldn't agree more. I have a thing that I read every morning. I call it my morning, my Bible, right?
Morning Bible.
And I read it out every morning because a lot of the times you will go through your day to day and you might procrastinate, you might let these things affect you, you might get in your own head. But the reason why that happens is because of the person you are now and the ways you think now. But in my Bible, I read out every single morning the person I need to become, who that person is, how that person thinks, how that person acts, how that person feels, how that person goes about their day, how that person makes content, what business they make, the life they live, all these things that just picture it out. So that when I read that every morning and I'm like, fuck, I feel shit. And it's like, well, would the guy who has got 50,000 followers on Instagram, who does make 20k a month, who is location free, who is his own boss, who doesn't let fear, worry, doubt control him, does he get bothered by what you're feeling now? No. Okay. Out the window.
Yeah.
Because I read it every morning, and it's the idea that you need to become that person. So you hold yourself accountable to that. And then eventually you will see yourself as that person because you act and feel like them. Whereas if you don't, you'll just stay this person. You'll always want to be something else, and you won't have that self-image to change if you don't work on all these things or hold yourself accountable to that person you want to become.
I love that. I call that my prospective identity.
I think everyone's, my friend calls it his morning formula. I call it my Bible. I think
Yeah.
you got your own, you have to come up with your own name for it.
Everyone's got a little spin on it.
Yeah.
And I'll describe this as using an analogy.
Analogy.
Wait and cut that, please.
No, we can't. I'm putting that in one of my fucking videos about. That's going to be a hook.
So the way I describe that is, so the person you want to become, your prospective identity. For me, it's 25-year-old Will. It's like, what does he do in the morning?
That's oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm 22.
Yeah, fuck. I was gonna say it's coming around quick.
Yeah.
Man.
How much
It's like
money does he make?
6 months.
What's his relationships like with his family? Just to a T. Like, how many striations does he have in his shoulders? Like, it goes into serious depth. And the way I describe it is, people need to write that. They need to find out who they want to become, so that every daily action is aligned to become that person. The way I describe it is, it's like putting on a pair of shoes. So say you get some leather suit shoes, dress shoes. They're pretty uncomfortable.
Fancy.
Yeah. So imagine like they're super sturdy and super uncomfortable. You've got no socks on. And you put these shoes on, at first they don't even fit. They feel so uncomfortable. And you're walking in them and it kills. You're getting blisters on your toes. You're getting blisters on the back of your heels. You're getting blisters on the bridge of your foot. It's just killing.
Yeah, noise you're wearing them.
Yeah. And and you're in just so much discomfort. It's painful to you. But the more you keep walking in those shoes, the more they become molded. And your feet breaks into the leather. And then over time, it's not a quick process, but over time, over 6 months, over 1 year, over 2 years, it doesn't really matter. But those shoes start to mold to your feet. The leather's broken in. And at some point, you forget the pain. The pain is no longer there because the shoes fit you. The shoes are molded to your feet. And without even realizing, you've become that man.
I fucking love that. And you know, you can even go off further than that. Is say after 2 years, the shoes fit you, but now You need new shoes.
Your feet have outgrown them.
Your feet have outgrown them. You've worn them in too much. You've become that. They fit too well, but now they're outdated. You need a new pair. There's a fancy pair coming up.
Swap the
now
docs.
now you need to get some
Lollopianos.
Birkenstocks or whatever it may be. Some new shoes, some new ones to break in, a new level to go to.
Exactly.
And it's consistently, for example, this morning Bible or the prospect. What was it? Sorry,
Prospect of identity.
prospect of identity. This isn't a document I will read the same one for the next 20 years. In a year's time, I'll make a new one. I'll revisit everything. I'm like, okay, this is everything I said I was going to do this year and become. Okay, I will have hit that. I know I will have hit that. Then it's the new level, new shoes, put on the new things. How else are we going to get there? What does that person do? How does that person wake up? What does he get from his life? I think the thing as well is like you say, the more detail you put into it, the more cracks in the leather or the material of the shoe, ever using an analogy, that you focus on, the more clearer and easier it is to become that person, because you know exactly what you need to do to get there.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you want your life to look like. You know exactly how you want to deal with things. So then it becomes easy to do those things. But I don't think a lot of people go into that level of detail of what they want their life to look like, how they want their life to be. Am I waking up and doing what I want to do? They just wake up and go through it. They're on autopilot. They don't have the new shoes to wear.
The devil is in the detail. And if you don't look at the detail, then you're going to get dragged down by the devil. You know, it's like, what do you do when you're tired? What do you do when you've stayed up past your bedtime and when you want to eat? You want to beat your meat. You want to watch scrolling TikTok. That's the detail. What do you do when you're tired on a run? Do you stop? Do you walk for a bit? What do you do when you're achy as fuck from the gym and you've got to go train chest and your goal is to bench 120 kg and you're not training chest? The devil's in those fine, intricate details, skipping sets, you know, and when you've got those big goals in every aspect of your life, from the striations to your chest, to the amount of money you send your mum every week, to the penny, having those things make sure you doesn't go offline. That is like the heat correcting and those missiles.
The course correction. Yeah. I think a big thing as well is, say for example, you want to send a certain amount of money to your mother so she can live well. And then you go to you're in your business, you don't feel like doing that extra bit of work past your bedtime. It's like, well, who is like, I think you mentioned this to me, and it's what really opened my eyes is, who is at the other side of this? Like, who's being affected by this? Is it just me? Or is it my parents because they still have to work? Is it my friends because they're not getting the best person around? Like, who is affected by me taking this wrong decision? Is it just me, or is it the people around me who I care for, who I love, who I need to be there for? If you don't hold yourself accountable to the things you know you need to do, it's not just you who you're letting down. It's all the people around. It's all the people you care about. It's all the people you love. And if you don't start thinking like that, then you will let yourself slip. You will let yourself slide. You will take the corners. You'll cut these things. But if you start really
Honing in.
I think there's an extreme circumstance that I've seen, which I don't use myself, but it's like, if I don't do this, my whole family's going to die.
Yeah.
Extreme.
Gun to head mentality.
Yeah, but it's like, it's that sort of idea that if you hold that level of consequence to your actions, if I don't stay up for these next 2 hours, I need to get this work done, my whole family dies. Are you going to go to bed? Fuck no. It's not real, but it's like, you would then stay up and work as hard as you fucking can for those 2 hours. But if you were like, oh, my family's fine, I'll just go to bed.
I think there's also a level deeper than that as well. It's share, and I think I said this to you. It's your future wife and your future kids. It's like right now.
You're letting them down.
Yeah, I'm 22, you're 25. We're not really thinking
24.
24, sorry, bro.
I'm not that fucking old yet.
Like, we're not thinking about kids right now. We're not thinking about having kids. We're not thinking about getting married. But it's inevitable. And the thing about us lads who are young and ambitious and we're also very self-aware is that we do consider these things. We do think about the future. It's like, in business, we've got to think in decades, not months. It's the same in life. Like, think about 10 years time. In 10 years time, I'll be 32. I'm probably going to have a kid. So what sort of man do you want to be to raise children? What sort of woman do you want to attract? You know, A guy who doesn't stick to his word isn't going to be able to raise his kids well. A guy who doesn't stick to his word isn't going to attract a beautiful wife to raise those kids with him. So you've really got to go, and that is probably one of my ultimate goals further down the line, is to have like an insane family of my own, not just the insane family that I've already got, but the one that's going to come.
To build
Yeah.
an insane family.
And ultimately, I view it, I tie my work towards my future family, because that is technically the fruit of my labor. The life that my future family lives, the way my wife looks and acts and behaves, the way my kids behave, do they go to private school, do they have a good education? That's down to me. You know, am I going to give them all the experiences possible? Am I going to be able to teach them new languages? Am I going to give them like private paddle lessons? Like, if I don't put the work in now, they're not going to have that. So that is the fruit of my labor. Yeah, a nice villa in Koh Samui is, but it's deeper than that. And just to live in a villa in Koh Samui isn't enough to drive you to do it.
It goes further than that.
But to build your own villa for your family to live in, that's even deeper.
And I think with that, a lot of people's problems can be solved by asking, say for example yourself, if you ask the 32-year-old Will, who has this amazing family, they built a villa for themselves in the hills, they're living a wonderful life, you was asking advice on a lot of your problems or decisions you need to make, you'd be able to answer a lot of your questions, but you get clouded by it because you're thinking of yourself, or you think through the lens of yourself now. But if you do hold yourself accountable to that person, to what would he do? How do I need to be to get there? You will be able to answer a lot of your own problems, your own questions, your own doubts through just asking yourself, but through the future version of you.
It's interesting because people asked me before what I would say to my younger self. And there's been like different versions of myself. So let's go back to like 16-year-old Will, who just wanted to be the best kickboxer in the world. Then let's go to 18-year-old Will, who was depressed, smoking weed. Then let's think of 19, 20-year-old Will, who was in the shoe cleaning office 4 hours a day after work, after kickboxing twice a day, after all that shit, cleaning shit off shoes. Then think about 21-year-old Will, who just moved to Thailand, had no money, no income, not really an idea of how he's going to make it work. Like, what would this version of me say to all of those different versions of me? It'd be the same. It'd just be keep going. Because I wouldn't change anything that 15-year-old kickboxer went through. I wouldn't change anything that depressed kid went through. I wouldn't change anything that the shoe cleaner Will went through. I wouldn't change anything that the broke, lost, scared Koh Samui V1 Will would do. And I imagine if I'm 32 years old, I would say the exact same thing to present me. It's just keep going, because I figured it out some way or another.
At each level, you have your own problems. At each level, you get new problems. But again, it goes back into what I'm saying. There's no such thing. Problems aren't problems. They're just lessons learned to bring you back on course. Because everything you went through at each different stage, you think it's a problem. You put so much magnitude on it. But then, for example, yourself now, you would say the same thing to all those people of yourself, the same versions of yourself. But you each had a different lesson in all of that. But all you was accounting with was different problems at different times. Where you are now is from you learning those mistakes, learning those failures, and course correcting. Where you'll be in 10 years, again, you would give the same advice at every point. The advice is still the same, but the problems are different because it just brings you back on course to the same fucking target of the heat-seeking missile. If you get clear on where you need to be, everything becomes simple because there is no such thing as a wrong decision. There is no such thing as a problem. It is all just a lesson learned to bring you back on course.
I talked about this. This is my first YouTube video that did well last year. And this was targeted to like the guys in the UK who were feeling like depressed and stuff, because I could relate to them. That was me like 2 years prior. And like, you've got point A, which is where you're at now. You're feeling lost, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling shit, you hate yourself. Then you've got point B, which is where you want to go. So for me, that was Will making 2K a month, training kickboxing in Thailand, living a bit more free. So then you need to figure out, this is point A and this is point B. How do I get there? Like, what do I need to do to become undepressed, stop smoking weed, be in Thailand, make 2K a month? And then you outline a path. So if you've got a path and you know exactly where you're going and how to get to where you're going, it's impossible to feel lost. And depression is feeling lost. It's feeling lost personally, it's feeling lost physically, and it's feeling lost spiritually. You know? So it is impossible to be depressed. This is a bold statement, but it's impossible to be depressed if you know where you are and you know where you're going and you know how to get there.
I said this. There's a lot of people who DM me around like whether how do I live the life I live, how do I do what I do, whatever it may be, and everyone's saying they feel down, they feel lost, they feel confused, they need guidance, they don't know what to do. But I say the same thing to everyone is you cannot be depressed, you cannot feel down, you cannot be bored if you are building something, if you are building towards something, if you are clear on what you need to do, you cannot be bored. How can I wake up and feel depressed or bored when I have a mind to master, a body to build, and a brand to grow? There's no such thing as a bad day because everything is pertaining towards that goal. I know every day the needle goes forward, I'm improving and getting closer to those goals. But if you don't have those things in place, if you don't have that sort of clarity, then you can feel lost, you can feel depressed, you can be bored. But I can't remember the last time I was bored, bro. Because every single day, if I'm bored or quote bored, shit, I could go fucking do all these things. There's so much I need to build, there's so much I need to do. But if you don't have your sights set on what you need to build, you can get yourself lost. You can become depressed. And I don't think a lot of people have that clarity on what they want to achieve. And that's what leads them down the spiral.
You need to be purpose driven to be truly living.
And not a lot of people don't know the purpose. And I think that's if I was to say something right now, we're talking about all these different things, all these different concepts. If you want to get yourself out of the position where you are right now, if you are feeling lost, if you are feeling stuck, if you are able to find your purpose, I think it's quite difficult if you are around the same environment, the same people to find that. But once you find your purpose, everything becomes easy because you know everything you need to do. You know what's right. You know what direction you need to go in. And again, I think that's when you get the clarity on the problems and the mistakes and the failures because they don't feel like
Significant.
They don't feel significant. I could fucking flop a video for 4 weeks straight, but I know that it's going towards the right direction. People could get down by it. Oh, I only got 200 views. Fuck, go again, make another one. It's the idea that it just does not matter what happens because you're going in the right direction because you know what you need. You know where you need to go. And it's that clarity, it's that purpose that drives you on. I will not be bored ever again. I can guarantee that because there's always going to be something I need to build. If I build what I have in mind now, a 50k brand, 20k a month, the building doesn't stop. We'll add a few more floors. There's always more you can do. And the purpose, again, this is a great concept that we spoke about. The purpose is not achieving the goals. The purpose is finding the clarity whilst on the journey of achieving those goals. Because if you tie your worth to the end result, you'll feel so empty when you hit that 20k month. If you're like, I will be fulfilled when I hit 20k months, you're fucking wrong. I will be fulfilled when I live in Thailand, you're fucking wrong. You need to find the purpose for the journey. And if you can feel that, then you will never ever be depressed. I can assure you that.
It's also like how much do you tie to those goals? Like it's really important to become that person and to have those goals set. But there's a thing in transurfing reality called excess potential. And the more stress and strain you tie to achieving a particular thing, the more chances there is for it to go wrong.
I believe, the excess importance you tie to it is the excess potential. Yeah, I remember reading that.
Yeah. So the more you
I need
tie
to read
something,
that book.
the more likely it is that it's going to go wrong. So if you're in a place of scarcity and saying, I need to make 50k this month, I need to make 50k this month.
It's pushing it further away.
You're pushing it further away. But then if you tell yourself it's already happened and you look in the mirror and going back to self-image, you see a man who's already made 50k per month, then you're far more likely for it to come because you're inviting it in instead of pushing it away.
I think me and you think the same with this is all my goals are inevitable. I've achieved them all. Time's just catching up. I've achieved everything I've already set myself out to. And I feel that I know everything I want I've already achieved. Time is just catching up. So I'm enjoying that time. And when I get to the next goal, I will set new goals. And I know I've already achieved them because I've set them in place. If you can get to a point where you understand anything you set in place will happen, you enjoy the process of it so much more. You enjoy that time. Whereas if you focus on the end result too much, that time becomes longing. That time becomes, fuck, when am I going to do this? Like I need to, and it's stressful. It's excess importance. I don't need to hit 20k a month. I have. It's just a matter of time.
Well, I have £1 million in my bank.
Yeah.
But
I have a 12-inch cock.
12
I don't think it
centimeters.
works with that one, but
Well, I would say it's a matter of time, but it's not. It's a matter of hard work, diligent decisions, and a relentless attitude towards discipline. The consistency will always be the precursor to success. I wrote that in the journal.
I like that.
Philosophical wills coming out.
You put me onto a book. I think it was actually the first call we ever had when I was in Mexico. I didn't read it until I got here. It's the Daily Stoic. And I read a page of it every morning. And it's the first thing I do. I do my morning routine, press up, shower, whatever it may be.
Fine.
Nah. And then I sit down and I read the Daily Stoic and I read the page, because if you don't know what the Daily Stoic is, it's a book, obviously, but it's about the stoicism, the philosophical ways of the old Greeks, but it's a page a day. So you don't read, I mean, you can probably read 20 pages of it, but it's set out in every single day, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. You're meant to read a page a day, and I really, because it's only a page a day, I really try and concentrate on
Analyze
it. I
it.
think one thing that I really am going to work on is when I read at times, I kind of go too quick. I think I'm reading over and I'm not taking in a lot of the stuff that's being said. I will acknowledge it and be like, wow, that's amazing. But if I don't, I think I need to read slower so that I'm actually absorbing and applying. Because a lot of things I'll not feel at the end of it. Like I'll know, oh, that's a good concept. But then the next day I might find myself going against what I've just read. But if you slow down, take it easy, really read it over, like with the Daily Stoic, I read it 3 or 4 times and I'm like, I do this a lot. I'm not going to do this. And then when I approach a situation, I think of that because I've absorbed it in so much. And I really like that 1-page format of really going over it and getting
Read
like,
it a few times, highlight
yeah.
some stuff,
read it
analyze
every
it.
year, bro. I will read that book for the next 10 years. It's a page a day.
This is my 2nd year reading it.
Yeah,
Well, third year, but the first year I didn't really read it too much.
exactly. You don't really read it, but only once you actually get, like, absorb it and really focus on it, you actually then start to feel the differences. Books are fucking crazy, man. I never used to read until I started doing, until I left the UK. Not that matters, as in to start reading, but I only started reading once I got to Mexico, and I was like, I need to fucking learn a lot of shit. I need to do all these things.
Reading was like the first thing into my self-development journey.
Bro, my journey only really started in fucking September.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The first book I read was called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I bought that book, but I bought the workbook by accident, so I left. I remember I got to it, I finished a couple books, I got to it and I was reading through, I was like, what are all these spaces for? Why is there so many lines in this book?
Do you want to know a funny story about books?
Go on.
So I remember when I was back in the UK, I used to like ask my dad if I could order it in his Amazon account because it came like next day. I remember
Prime.
yeah, but I did it like a few times, and I remember like 2 of the times my dad was like, oh, don't worry, son, my treat. So I knew like, all right, if that's dad orders a book, I might get it for free, I might not. It's worth a chance. Probably really bad. But I remember someone recommended me to read The Rational Male.
Okay.
Do you know what the book's about?
No.
All right.
I can make an assumption.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was about. I just listened and was like, okay, I'll order it tonight. And then, so I ordered it on my dad's Prime account. My stepmom read it, read the blurb, and was like, well, what's this book you're reading?
What was
it
the
all about
blurb?
like masculine and feminine polarity, spinning plates, like survival of the fittest in the dating scene. I was just like, one of my friends told us to order it. He was doing really well, and I didn't even know what it's about. And that's what I said, and I was like, I'm just not going to believe this.
Yeah.
It was a good book. I learned a lot.
Sounds like something I want to get. This is the thing with books as well. There's so many. I've got a fucking reading list of probably about 105, 106 books right now, and I've gone for about 13, 14 of them.
It's taken me a long time to get through books now. So I used to read like 2 books a month.
But do you think, like, sorry to interrupt you there, but do you think that reading 2 books a month is too quick? Because I originally had a goal that I was like, I want to read 20 self-development books a month. But then I found myself going, this is what I'm saying. Because I had it in mind that I had to read 20 books, I would go through it quicker, but I'd rather read less books and actually fucking feel and take in what I'm reading more so than read. Because again, I want to get through all these books and learn all these things and all these different concepts and perceptions. But if I'm not taking in what I'm reading, then am I even reading it? If it doesn't get applied to my life, if I don't take something from the book.
I get that, but I used to highlight everything. I used to just implement it straight away. So I think it's a time thing. But Yeah, I used to like smash through the books. 2023, 2 a month. 2024,
That was
like
one of
one
the
a
first
month.
videos I seen from you.
About books.
Yeah, you was talking about. I can't remember the book. I remember you was sat in your when I was in Mexico. I was watching it, and you were doing like a little. Someone was filming you. And it's kind of like a little cuts here and there, and then it's like another book here, and then we were going through it. It was a good video. I think I bought one of the books from it. I was like,
Did you?
Yeah.
Sick.
I can't remember
Sick.
what book it was.
But now it's like, I think I've read one book this year.
What book?
The Richest Man in Babylon. And now I've started. Oh no, that's a lie. I read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. And then I read The Richest Man in Babylon, which is sick. It's like that talks about building wealth, like how to cure the lean purse. And now I'm on The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I don't know how it's took me so long to get onto that book.
I have no idea what you just said.
The Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
Is that French?
No, I think it's like Indian or something.
No, actually, I don't. What's it about?
It's so there's these things called novalisms.
Mm.
I say quotes from him, and like everyone uses it. He's like, I think his background, he's like a software engineer or something.
It was recent.
Yeah, and he's like,
Okay.
he's a millionaire or billionaire, whatever. And there's like not much footage of him online. There's not much podcasts or books. So someone wrote this book about him because he's just so wise and he's got so much knowledge. One of the things I've read about it in the first of all was, even when he was broke, he told himself he's worth like $3,000 an hour. So if something didn't get him $3,000 an hour,
You wouldn't do it.
he wouldn't do it. I can't remember exactly because I just opened the book and just read it. Like, I need to probably read the book. That was interesting. I was like, all right, well, I've not really looked at how much I make an hour. I just like look how much I make in a month. I don't even care about the weeks. It's the months now. But I was thinking, all my hours worth $3,000. No, they're not. But they are worth it, but am I making $3,000 per hour every single day? No. That's a lot of money.
Do you think that your time now is worth $3,000 an hour?
Yeah, so one of my goals is actually to get paid to go on a podcast. Weird goal, probably.
Why is that a weird goal?
Well, because it's not really important. It's not really gonna get me to my goals, is it? It's not
No, but
gonna.
it's an accolade. It's to know that someone values and you're worthy, because that's what as humans we want. We want that recognition.
It's a little side quest.
Yeah.
It's not.
Bro, one of my goals is to fly business class. It does fucking nothing for me, but it's just like, it's a little side quest you want to do.
Yeah, listen to this, man. I thought I was going to get my first business flight on the way home. So
Yeah.
after the mastermind mid-May, I'm going to Turkey for a family holiday.
Yeah.
Then after the family holiday, I'm going back to the UK. I was like,
The York mastermind, is it?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
a mastermind in York. So I was like, sick. This is gonna be classic. I fly home business, back home, first time ever. I was looking at booking the flights. It was British Airways, and I messaged one of the girls who used to go to school with, who works for British Airways. It's like, I've got to change airports in London to get back to Newcastle. Bit long, but I was like, I want to fly business class, so it is what it is. I was like, what's the crack? Do I have enough time? Does this work? And then she said, yeah, it works, but it's not real business class. I was like, well, what do you mean? It costs business class and it says it's business class. And she said, well, it's the same seats as an economy. You're just at the front with more leg room and you get free food. I was like, what? So now I can't like this time round, I can't fly business class. There's not an option. So I'm gonna have to wait until I leave. I don't even think the fly business class from Newcastle to Italy, which is where I'll be going after the UK.
I was going to say, I can't imagine there's much Newcastle business class flights in there.
Yeah, it sucks, bro. So I'm probably going to have to wait another like 6 months to fly business.
Well, I fly to Bangkok tomorrow. It's an hour, which is obviously that's just going to be economy. But I fly to Bali on Thursday. Now, I actually haven't got business class now, but I'm just hoping.
Upgrade.
It's a very common flight. There's about 4 going out that same day from Bangkok to Bali. The likelihood that there's space, because I've tried this on the last 4 flights. Only one was available, and that was from Mexico to UK, and that was, I think it was like $1,200 to upgrade, and I was like, that's probably not worth it. Probably not worth me for shipping it. I'll just get whatever. But the Bangkok to Bali is about 4 hours. So I believe that I'm manifesting that I'll be on business class on Thursday.
Yeah, but bro, like that might be the same. I hope so for you. But I think that's the same thing from Turkey to Newcastle.
You reckon
for
I
me.
get there? I'm like, yeah, it's business class. And they just put me at the front with the fucking,
Yeah, free food. Like,
the pad thai, and that's
is
it.
free food worth another 600 quid? Like, I don't know. Like,
Oh yeah, but I've got it. I've got it on like the little vision board on the Bible in the morning. I'll show you actually what I mean.
tell you what's game changing for traveling. It's having business lounges. You can get them through Amex cards and Revolut cards, I think. That is a game changer. When you're waiting at the airport, you can just sit. You get free food, healthy food too, if you want. And then you can just grind, get work done. It's sick. Show me this.
I'm showing you this. This is what I look at every day. So it's that one in the top and bottom right there. Bottom right. That's the business class I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
They've
See,
got that
that's the business class I think
I
of.
don't know if you can see this on the. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Fucking
Do you wanna see
waiting.
mine?
But essentially, it's one of the ones where they bring out the plate, they bring out everything. You got the champagne. Probably wouldn't drink champagne. Don't drink. Other than even out in white pie. Jesus.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
far too much.
It's got the woman in the very. I don't know what it is, but when I think of business class, I think it's called the Emirates thing. It's just where like there's a woman in the really sleek white dress that just comes over and hands you your food. That's what I think about. I'm just there and I'm just chilling back, eating this 3-4 course dinner, glass of champagne, a movie on, legs up, sleeping.
Excuse me, will you take a picture of me, please?
Excuse me, do you mind just filming me for like 4 hours? Is that all right?
Hey, it's just for real. Just
Need
want to.
B-roll, just get like 6 angles around this one pod. Definitely wouldn't ask that.
Yeah, you will.
I would. That's one thing we've not even got onto, bro, is the fucking content. Not even scratch the surface of content. Oh shit.
Why are you even posting content?
Why am I posting content? I want to help people get out of the position that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show to people that they can live this lifestyle if they find said purpose, if they have said direction, if they have guidance, that it is a lot easier and it is more attainable than people think. People think that what we do, or I say what we do, what people above us have done, I'm probably sure you thought it as well, that it's a scam, it's unrealistic, it can't happen. But I want to show to people that if you can conquer your mind, if you can just work on yourself daily and know where you want to go, that these things will fucking happen if you put it into fruition. And as well, on a personal standpoint, I just fucking love creating, bro. I love waking up and knowing like what can I make today? How can I get my message across today? How can I, make something cool today? And I'm sitting there in the editing thing, bro, and I'm thinking, oh, this will look sick, this will look sick. And it's me, bro. I'm making this. I'm creating it. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I would post. This is one thing. Is if I was to wake up every single day, and I would have my dream life, whether I'm making 10K a month, whether I'm making 3 mil a month, I would still make content because I love doing it. It's creative. You can put your ideas into fruition and then show it to the world, and people will it can affect someone's life from a piece of content I've made. The amount of messages I've received lately about like inspiration from the Samui video I made, about the lifestyle we live, the brothers we have around us, the amount of people that were inspired by that and have messaged me saying like, I really want to get into this, like I'm serious about it, like you put me in the right direction. And you just help these people to at least know, fuck, this is real, this is genuine. And then I might not speak to about 12 of the people I spoke to the other day, but that could change the course of their fucking lives, bro. That very little comment on a TikTok video could change the course of their lives because they're like, fuck, this shit is real.
Yeah.
How do I go and do this? That guy might go on to be Elon Musk. I don't fucking know. But the idea is that I can have so much power in affecting people's lives
Just
for
through
the better,
content.
just through the content, bro. Not only for the enjoyment of myself. There's so many benefits to it that, yeah,
Content's sick,
I
man.
could go on about it for ages. Just like I want to do YouTube. That's the long-term thing as well. Like long-term plan would be to just blast YouTube.
I'm enjoying YouTube.
Yeah, bro, I'd love to. Realistically, right now, I would be putting too much on my plate for what I have in place right now. YouTube is inevitable. I will do YouTube, but it has to come at a right point when my brand is built, when the business is built, when I haven't got as much on my plate, when I'm out of the sales job. Then I'll start YouTube. But right now, it's just too much. I try to divert my attention to too many things. You split your focus on too many things. Each of them gets impacted on for the worse. You want to either nail in on the 3 things that are most important now. Because short form and long form, yes, they're content, but they're very, very different. It's a different level of commitment to do long form. But long term, bro, I just couldn't imagine anything better than just waking up. Right, what video are we making today? Who are we helping today? And going through life knowing that every single video you post, every single call you have, every single thing you do with your business, if it's content related, is directly or indirectly helping someone and benefiting them. That is the dream. That is the purpose, bro. That is the purpose, is to help others get unstuck. It's to help others live the life they want to live, to make it seem realistic. And through content, that is the power you have. That is the influence you can have over these people and the help you can give. And that is, honestly, bro, I was saying this, as much as I have these monetary goals, I would much rather make 20K a month and have 300 people in the community that I know are genuine being helped by me, actually affecting their lives, than making 50K a month and help 6 people.
Yeah.
The money to me literally does not matter. Whether I make 20K a month or 50K a month, it does not matter to me. The amount of people I help, leverage their life to become better, that is what is important to me. That is what I want to do in my life. That is the purpose. That's why I wake up. It's building that legacy of getting people out of their comfort zone and doing the life they want to do.
That's powerful. That's gonna like come back on you tenfold as well. I would do Willionaire if I didn't get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get so much fulfillment, purpose, and passion just through doing it. It's like a dream for me. Well, it's a dream come true. That's what it is.
It's a great concept as well, bro. Like, honestly, it is. Just because of these last, like I say, I've been in Samui now 3 months, and these last 3 weeks since the boys have been on the island and we did the white party, the barbecue, and it's just everyone around you is just fucking dialed.
How have you found being in Willionaire?
It's made things so much better, because at the start of Samui and in Mexico, like, I'm around good people. I'm around the odd person here or there who is on the same wavelength. Maybe some of them might drink, maybe some of them might do drugs, whatever. I can't allow it too much, but they're great people. But since being with Willionaire, there's so many people that are just completely fucking dialed on the same shit, want to see you win, want to film content, want to go to the gym, want to consistently work on their business. But again, being around those people, like, spiritually, when we were getting into it, I've had seen so much success. I've grown my following on TikTok by roughly around 125%. And I was posting for 6 months beforehand. I've been in Willionaire for like a month. And in that time, being around those people, getting the content, doing these things, and just waking up and being, saying this the other day, I had a moment, a fucking energy pulse inside me. I can't even describe the feeling, bro, of like how grateful I am at the moment. I just booked the villa in Bali with Tully and the lads.
Nice.
I had all the people around me. We just got off the back of the barbecue. I just got a notice of making like a piff that morning, and all these things, my content, one of my videos got 7 figures, 1-to-1, and all these things I've wanted and desired for so long are all just falling into place and coming into fruition. And I could not describe the fucking energy that, like, again, we said before, it's like coursing through my veins of like, I could not be more fucking happy at where this is going and the way it's going down, and being around the right guys who are also feeling that same thing, who are also achieving their said goals. It's so powerful, man. And it's been good. These last 3 weeks on Samui have been incredible. Me and you just, right, do you want to go gym? Boom, gym, content day, get all these shots, whatever else. And it just 10x's everything from there.
Absolutely.
Other than the binge eating I've been doing.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck on.
Yeah, but that's fine.
We've got I lived in a villa with Tully. Sick guy.
Big up, Tully.
Big up, Tully. I'm sure he's watching this.
See you in 3 days, brother.
Yeah, you will get along with Tully really, really well, man.
Yeah, I'm fucking gassed.
He's putting the content now. Killer at sales as well. Just an all-around legend. I met him in Smoothie this time, probably like February last year. We've got on so well. And then we lived together in in Bali. Absolute good.
Yeah, running it back. We've got 6 of us in this villa in Bali. Rice fields, private street. It's for content, right? I think 5 of the guys in the villa are pumping content, and one of them wants to start his personal brand. I think 2 of them are online coaches, fitness coaches. The other guys are all diced, in shape. Like, that is going to be, again, what we speak about, being around those right people. That time in Bali, I know, I'm saying it here now, that my content, my physique, my business is all going to go to new lengths that I could not even fathom at that point.
All-time highs on all metrics.
All-time highs, which I know were inevitable, but not at the time that I expected will happen in there. things will come at me so fast and so quick that I won't have time to process them in that villa, and I can feel it.
It's already happened.
It's already happened, bro.
It's already
It's
happened.
coming quicker than expected. It's inevitable. They've already happened, but in that villa, they're gonna come thick and fucking fast, way quicker than I expect.
Amen to that. Alex, where can people find you?
On IG, Alex Benshaw. On TikTok, Alex Benshaw 0. Some cunt took the fucking main Alex Benshaw on TikTok, so we had to whack a 0 in the end.
0 to hero.
Yeah, 0 to. Oh, that's why. That's why. Yeah, we're from the fucking. I was gonna say slums. We're not from the slums. We're a good upbringing.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure follow him on IG and TikTok, boys.
That was fun.
And speak soon.
Take care. Peace.